lunch or dinner. These are all easy, inexpensive recipes and ones the kids can get involved in too. So let's get started. The first recipe we're going to do is a white chocolate mousse with lemon curd housed in an Easter egg shell. This is from the Best Recipes website, so we'll start by melting 250 grams of white chocolate, a third of a cup of milk, and we'll mix that and melt that over a low heat until it's fully melted and combined. Once ready, we'll let it sit for about 10 minutes to cool. Next, we're going to whip 375 ml of cream, and we'll mix this and beat it until it's a nice thick whipped texture. Next, we'll add in 3 egg yolks into our cooled chocolate mixture and then add that with our cream. And finally, we'll beat the egg whites, and once they've formed some stiff peaks, we'll mix that in with our chocolate mixture and we're ready to go. Okay, so we've got our chocolate mousse recipe, and now I've got one of our Easter eggs ready to cut. So I'm just going to pop a knife in here. Now, as you can see, it's actually started to split. Don't despair, because that happens with Easter eggs. So we're not going to make a big deal out of it. We can still use that as our chocolate mousse container. Not quite what we'd imagined, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is pop it in a little ramekin dish, which just means it will be able to sit easier as I fill it up. I've just got a measuring cup here, which I like to use because it will actually be easy to spoon the chocolate mousse in. So I'm going to hold the egg over the bowl, just spoon the mixture in like that, as high as you can go. It'll actually add a bit of character with all your eggs being of different sizes. We'll just clean that bit up. The splits in it will all be different. They'll all be different shapes and sizes, and that's what Easter about. It's just enjoying our eggs and having a good time. So I'm going to pop that in the fridge now to set, and then we'll come back when it's ready. Okay, now here's one I prepared earlier with our white chocolate mousse. So as you can see, I was a bit more successful with cutting the top off. We've had the mousse in there. What I did was also melted a little bit of chocolate, popped it under the egg so it's actually sturdy on the plate. So we've got the chocolate mousse in there. We'll pop this top on the side, and I've actually just got some lemon curd which we're going to add, and that will become the yolk. So we just pop that on top of our egg like that and just sort of push it in a bit. That'll start to settle. I've also got some berries here. I'll just scatter on the side like that, and a sprig of mint with a little bit of greenery. And there we go, a really easy but impressive Easter dessert. So we've got our white chocolate mousse in our eggs, a little bit of lemon curd on top, some berries and some mint, and I think your friends will be knocked out by that. So that's that one, and let's move on to the next one. Now the next one is a really easy one that you can do with your kids, and you probably already know it as chocolate spiders, but we're actually going to adapt that and make some chocolate birds' nests, which we're going to fill with some berries and some Easter eggs. So we're just usually using Chang's original fried noodles. So as I said, many of you probably know these from making chocolate spiders. The recipe is actually on the back, so it couldn't be easier. So the first thing we need to do is break about 220 grams of baking chocolate into our bowl. You can use milk or dark. So we'll just see if we can get into the packet first. Perhaps a helping hand from some scissors. Should have tested that before we did this. Okay, so we're just breaking up the chocolate into a microwave-safe dish, because we're actually just going to melt this in the microwave. Perhaps not be as rough and loud as I am being right now. So just some small sizes of chocolate there. Nice bits. There we go. Now we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, but obviously if you've got any kids coming around or kids of your own that have a peanut allergy, you don't need to add this, but it does give it that extra bit of crunch. There we go. Okay, so we're going to pop that in the microwave, let me check the recipe, for about 60 seconds on high to melt. Check it after 60 seconds, see how it is, and then keep adding it in small increments if it's not quite melted. It's very easy to overcook chocolate when you think there's a little bit more to go, so always go up in small increments. So I'm going to pop that in the microwave now, and then we'll come back when it's ready. Okay, so we've melted our mixture here. We're now going to add in our noodles. So we just, open the packet, pour them in, and just work. Make sure there's no plastic in it, and just work them in. As I said, most of you have probably seen this as chocolate spiders before. So give a good coating of the noodles, like that. And now to make our bird's nests. I've actually torn up some greaseproof paper, and what I'm going to do is, and this is enough to make 4 bird's nests, is just put it on the paper like this and just start to spread it out. Now the good thing is, because these are bird's nests, you don't need to be too exact with it. You just need to get a good covering that will fit in the bowl and make a decent sized nest. So we just do that. Oops, a bit more there. Okay, so there's our first nest. Now, if I put that in my moulding bowl now, what would happen is that all the chocolate would just run into the middle. So I'm going to pop that in the freezer for about 10 seconds just to do a quick harden up of the chocolate, and then I'll be able to mould it. So I'll let me pop that in the freezer and we'll be back shortly. Okay, so here's one that's been sitting in the freezer, and you can see the difference. If we'd put that in our bowl, it would have started to really form in the middle. This one's just been in for a couple of seconds. It's hardened up a bit, so we can easily press that into our bowl with our clean fingers. Now once again, you don't need to be too exact because these are bird's nests. Just start to form the shape like that. That easy. So we're going to pop that in the fridge now to set for a couple of hours, and then get ready to put it all together. Okay, now the magic of television, something I've always wanted to say. Here are some that I prepared earlier. So these ones have been sitting in the fridge, as you can see on our paper. So I'm going to slowly start to pull the paper away, like so. And you might have some folds like that, so just be, use a bit of force, and then you can start to pull the paper out. So I'm going to pop them on this board here. You might need to be a bit rough with it. There we go. So as you can see, because they're bird's nests, they can be any shape or form. They're easy for the kids to help with, and they're very easy. You can prepare them the night before. Those last bits of paper out. And have them ready to go and easy to put together. So, get the last one out, last bit of paper. There we go. So, we have our 4 bird's nests. Now, everyone might have OD'd on chocolate by the time you have dessert. So what I'm going to do is have a mixture that our guests choose from. So I'm going to pop some raspberries and strawberries in a couple to also add a nice bright colour to the table. There we go. And then I've got some of these chocolate speckled eggs, which will be really fun if I don't lose them across the kitchen bench or table. So pop those there. Then, just to add a bit more colour, I'm going to pop some mint just around the platter. Not only will it smell delicious, but it'll give some nice greenery for our bird's nests. So that's very easy. Chocolate bird's nests using the old chocolate spiders recipe, and I think that will really dazzle your guests for your Easter occasion. Now the next one is a really easy little lollipop idea that you can put together for the kids to have a nibble on at the end of your occasion. So what I've done is just bought these little Easter lollipop moulds, filled them with a variety of chocolate. So I've got some dark chocolate and I've got some white chocolate. So once again, just melting the chocolate, you can do that in the microwave. You can get the kids to help. I then scooped them into these moulds and they come out really easy. Just get some of that mixed chocolate. Just going to pop them on the tray. Now, if you're a bit over chocolate by that part of the day, I've also blended up some watermelon and popped some pureed watermelon into the moulds, into the freezer. So this will be a nice refreshing change to perhaps the rich food that you've had all day and the chocolate that everyone's been nibbling on. So really easy idea. Some Easter egg lollipop moulds, either in chocolate or watermelon. You could do them in anything with orange juice, any flavour that you like. Just something fun for the kids to have at the end of the day. Our final one is a really easy dessert idea for the adults at your party. If you're like me, sometimes you get to the end of the day, you've spent so much time with your styling, you're decorating your menu, that by the time it gets to dessert, you just want something simple. So this one is really easy. We're just going to pop an egg like this out of its wrapper, cut the top off, hopefully a bit more successful than we did with our white chocolate mousse. Okay. Oh, no, okay, let's try again. Okay, take two, we'll try this one. Now, it doesn't matter, it's Easter, so we know we're going to be able to enjoy that chocolate. So just, there we go, cut the top off, empty out any of the crumbs, and pop it in a little egg cup like this. Now, what we're going to pour in there is some Baileys. If I can get the top off. You could use anything. You could use port, red wine, something nice just to end the night with, Frangelico, Kahlua. So we'll pop that in our chocolate egg. And there's a lovely after dinner treat for the adults at your function. So we've just, as I said, got Baileys in an Easter egg there. You could use port. You could use any dessert style alcohol just to have a nice treat at the end of your dinner. Okay, so there are some of our favourite easy to make dessert ideas for your Easter brunch, lunch, dinner. So lots of things that the kids can get involved in, some treats for the adults and some fun ideas and presentations that will really make your guests go wow. So we wish you a fantastic Easter and we look forward to seeing you